Alright, so I'm going to talk to you guys about patching wood. It's a little bit of an updated video. I had a video out a while back, and I wanted to update that because, of course, there's some new projects out, and I'm going to show you guys some of those, the data sheets. And, you know, before I go ahead and do this video, I'm going to actually tell you guys a little story about reading stuff. And you know, I found that most people just don't read. They just don't want to take the time to read, and it's really an important thing as a painter that you should actually get data sheets and actually read them and read into them a little bit to figure out what things are going on. But I was doing a large job for a bank. I also do sign work and painting. That kind of got incorporated together because of some of the things that I do. Because I was doing sign related painting, but we're also doing some sign stuff too. And I was at a bank, and we're closing drive-up banking, and there's a big red sign on the window that says drive-up banking is now replaced with drive-up ATM. And there's like a window film on the window that sort of looks like, I mean, it's obviously not, there's little dots all over it, but kind of looks like the window's kind of fogged up. You can't see through it anymore. And there was a lady outside, and she said, you know, she sat there in her car for 20 minutes, and then she went into the bank, and, you know, the manager tells me this later, and she went into the bank, and she says, oh, you know, I figured you guys didn't see me because of all the fog on the window. And the lady goes, the manager says to her, did you not see the big red sign that says drive-up banking is closed now, or is replaced with drive-up ATM? So anyway, just so you guys, most people don't read. Good idea, make it a habit, start doing it now. So there's new specs on some of these things, and I can tell you, I've been doing this 35 years, and Bondo, for many of those 35 years, did not have a spec for wood. And now they actually show that, because so many people I think are using it for wood. It's not really intended for wood. It wasn't really designed for wood, but so many people are using it for wood that they actually put wood on their technical bulletin. And of course they got absorbed by the master company at some point. I think they used to be their own company, but now they're owned by 3M. And I didn't even know that until I actually pulled the specs, because I was going to pull up the specs and show that they, for years and years and years, they never said wood. Now this says good adhesion to aluminum, fiberglass, and wood. Now, the thing is, have they reformulated? And my answer to that is I doubt it. I haven't used it recently, but Bondo, I've never seen that stuff really adhere to wood. And if you're using anything on wood to repair a dry rotted area, you know, you're probably looking at a temporary repair. So, and you're talking about if you don't do any prep to it and you just put Bondo on it and figure that's going to make it better, you know, probably it's going to fail very quickly. It may not even last a whole year. So, but there are other products, because I do fill holes in walls for signs. So do I use Bondo? No, I do not use Bondo, and it's for a very good reason, because it does not adhere very well to wood. It actually shrinks over time, and you get a crack around the hole, and typically, you know, eventually that usually just ends up falling inside the sign, and then you have the hole again. So that's, you know, pretty much a big time fail. Not a product I would use typically for wood. And a lot of people say it's the same as this Minwax product, and people will say it's the same as USC's products. And I'm going to show you that they have different specifications. This one here, if you look here, it says, talks about product specifications. This is the 3M Bondo. The cheap Bondo is the cheapest brand they have. Of course, they have a lot of other 3M products that are way better and have probably specs that are similar to the AG 47, but I believe they're quite a bit more money. Okay, adhesion. They only specify steel to steel on adhesion 1,000 psi. So there you go. I mean, yeah, because people are using it for wood, they specify it now on their data sheet. They didn't used to for many, many years, and for a very good reason, because it doesn't really last. USC AG 47. Let's take a look at this one. This one says it has a lightweight grip filler. It has a Z-Tech adhesion booster to provide maximum adhesion to galvanized panels, aluminum, and steel, and some micro perfecting surfaces technology, so smooth finishes, and this stuff sands completely different and is clog free. It has additional things for adhesion in it, and it actually specifies steel, aluminum, fiberglass, body filler, wood, epoxy primer. You don't see that on their sheet, right? On Bondo, you don't see that it goes over any kind of painted or primered surfaces, I don't believe. Aluminum, steel, fiberglass, and wood. To steel, aluminum, fiberglass, and wood. This one has a lot more things that it sticks to. So even though they're both polyester resins, this product has a way higher adhesion rate than this one. So, but people go, well, it's the same thing. It smells the same. Well, yeah, it may smell the same because they're using polyester resins, but it's different grades and different things added to that to make it adhere. Another thing here. So they have the Minwax. I'm not sure on Minwax. I've never used it, and I probably won't, because I think it's probably way more expensive than this stuff is. And I know this stuff sands a lot easier than this stuff. So if you're buying Bondo and you're using that to fill holes in your wood, you might want to take a look at the USC AG 47 if you like using that kind of a product. To me, it's really hard to sand for wood, and I would only use it typically if it was a larger hole. If it was small holes like door jamb holes, that would be completely out of line and ridiculous. I would use Crawford's spackle, not their putty. The putty will shrink. The spackle works really good. I would use that on nail holes in the door, in the interior. But on the exterior, if you're doing something like that, maybe you want to use something that you feel is a little bit, stronger product. You might want to try this AG47. It also has stuff for flexibility, where Bondo pretty much doesn't have any flexibility to it. Some of the automotive fillers out there have more stuff built in for flexibility. So a lot of these products have actually changed in the last 5 to 10 years, where most of them were the same for, I would say, the first from the 80s up until probably the mid 90s, maybe mid 2000s. They were pretty much almost the same as Bondo. So they've actually done a lot of changes to these types of resins. They've come up with new technology to make them work better. I'm not saying that they've done that with this product. I've used this product probably within the last 10 years, and it feels like exactly like the same stuff that was back in the 80s. It hasn't changed at all, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not their chemist. I'm just kind of going by what I've done, and what my experience has been with the stuff. Is this stuff better? The guys that say that this is the same as this, it might not be. It might be completely better, because it does talk about that it has an additional adhesion properties, which are maybe more similar to this. But like I said, I would go steer to the USC AG 47, available in automotive paint stores, and it's actually a fairly new product. I don't think it's been around that long, but it's actually really, really good in comparison to the regular Bondo and regular automotive plastic fillers. So maybe if you're doing some hole repair, I want to give this stuff a try if you're using this. A lot of times what I do and what lasts a long time on wood, and nothing is a permanent repair on wood. If you think that you're going to repair wood and it's going to be a permanent repair, most of the time it's going to fail in a matter of time. The best permanent repair to wood is actually with another piece of wood. Doing a Dutchman You can watch a video of somebody that might have one out there on doing a Dutchman. I'm not going to explain that in this video, but we're going to talk about patching it. Another product that does work pretty well, and it's available at paint stores, available a lot of places. I think they might even have it at Home Depot and stuff like that, is this Durham's Rock Hard Putty. Now, the problem with this product is you have to let it dry a lot. I mean, it has to be completely dry. So it might be 3 hours of drying time on this product before you could really put any paint or primer on it. And it needs to be primed before you paint it, because paint will not stick very well to this product. So keep that in mind. You do not use it on interior at all. It's only really, I would use only on exterior, and it does work pretty good for filling holes. It's a water-based, it's almost a water-based Bondo, and it doesn't sand very good. It's not for sanding, it's just to fill. And it does the job. It works pretty well. I use this stuff periodically and for filling holes, but I'm going to tell you the things that I do after that that really help make the patches stay for a longer period of time. I've used this on concrete as well for like a smooth wall to patch, and it actually holds up and lasts pretty long. So that's another option for filling your wood holes. But like I said, the finish after you're done, you're not going to get a very good finish, kind of like Bondo. If you're wanting something that's really strong, that's quick and easy, maybe it dries a little bit slow. It gives you a little more working time. Bondo tends to get hard pretty quickly in the sun, and you're trying to get it to look good and smooth out, and then all of a sudden you end up with these big gobs and you have to sand them off. And trying to do that with Bondo can take a while. It's no fun. But with this stuff, you can get a little more working time. So it does a similar thing to Bondo, but you get a little more working time with it, and you can make it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so if you use one of these products on your wood and you're going to paint right over that, it's best to use a little bit of primer. But the one thing that I'll do is over one of these products is I will prime it, and I will use this stuff here. This is they have this stuff is by DAP called Patch 101. Also, just typical regular caulking. Basically, this is caulking in a gallon bucket. So you could use 35-year caulking and a broad knife and put that over your patches. And now, the reason you do that is because the patches are going to shrink, or the wood around it is actually going to shrink, because it's rotted or whatever, and it's going to shrink, one of the two, and you're going to end up with a gap around your patch. So to keep that from coming loose and the patch falling back in the wall or whatever, if you put a coat of this over it, the elastomeric coating, let's say for instance you're patching a fascia board has a hole, and you fill it with your whatever Bondo, or you fill it with USC AG 47, or you fill it with the Minwax, or you fill it with Durham's, and you leave it and let it dry, and then you prime it, and then you take your broad knife and you put a thin coat of the elastomeric compound or caulking over it. The reason for that is, again, so that as it moves, it will have something flexible over the surface and keep that patch from coming loose and falling inside or falling out over time. So that's, for your fascia board and stuff like that, that's a great way to patch the holes. Just so you remember, patching fascia board and wood, exterior wood surfaces, is not a permanent repair. It's just patch. It's a patch. Okay. And doing it that way, you can get a solid 10 years or more if you use the elastomeric patching compound over the patch. I mean, I've seen them last 10, 12, 13, 15 years and still be there. Will they fail eventually? Of course, almost everything's going to fail eventually, but it is a pretty good long-term way to patch a hole in wood. So anyway, just thought I'd go over some of this stuff real quick. The other video was a little bit outdated, and now they have updated the Bondo sheets to show that it goes on wood, which I don't think it really doesn't adhere properly. But these new products, I've actually used this product right here, and it has a really good adhesion rate. It sticks to, you can put it over primer. I mean, that's pretty tough stuff. Really good adhesion, and has really easy sanding compared to Bondo. It's not as easy as like spackle or something like that. If you're figuring that, just don't even think it even go there. It's not a comparison at all. But it does sand pretty easy for a polyester resin product. All right, so I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.